I am so glad you are here. It is Energy Sunday in my world, so let's talk a little bit about the secrets of Reiki. Are they secret anymore? Well, I want to talk about the symbols that get used and the language, the sounds that are associated with those symbols. And while at one time they were very secret, because you could not handle the energy, they're not anymore. They've been published in multiple mediums, discussed ad nauseum. You can find out all kinds of interesting things about them. And the truth is, they weren't there at the start of Reiki anyway. I know, controversial statement, right? Now, if you look back and you read the interviews that people have given who were taught by the gentleman who founded Reiki, by their students, those symbols were added on as a good way of focusing the physical side of how you work energy. And for some people, that's really necessary. For example, one way of meditating is to do yoga, because you might be the kind of person who physically needs to be present. There has to be a physical behavior so that you're engaged. Well, those symbols give you that. And the sounds that go with the symbols, if you're auditory in nature and your focus is more auditory, then hearing yourself say those or think those sounds can keep you in the moment and focused on the healing energetic work you're doing. So they're fantastic tools. And in fact, originally there wasn't a distinct set of symbols. You, in your training, might be given symbols in a different order, or even that look slightly different, maybe even incomplete in some cases, based on where you were at in your development as an energy healer and what your instructor thought was best for your progress. Now, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't eventually get all of the symbols and all of the terminology and all of that stuff, but it was a way of saying, hey, you're really good at this part of energy work, and I want you to focus on this. So I'm going to give you these two symbols, and we're going to ignore one of those symbols that you normally get at your second degree initiation in Usui Reiki until later. We'll cover that when you come and see me to tell me how your energy work is doing and how you've been feeling for that first month after your initiation. And I will say that that's interesting history, and it does suggest that the primary focus should be channeling that creative energy of the universe and shifting it and giving it to whomever you're working on to improve their overall health, not just their physical health, their spiritual, mental, emotional health is all part of that healing process, including if it's you that you're giving that energy to, right? And this is one method for one set of issues. Do they have to be secret? Well, there are people who say, out of respect, I'm not going to reference them here in this format. It's too public, and I was taught them secretly, so I'm going to keep them for private use only. Okay, fair enough. Do that. Truthfully, they're out there. And the rationalization then became, well, if you don't have your second degree initiations, if you have not been attuned to the second degree, you can't use them as effectively as somebody who has. So have at it, have fun. Is that true? I'm going to argue it depends on how much energy work you've already done. You might get a lot out of the experience. On the other hand, if you've never had the initiations to second degree done in Reiki, you're not attuned to Reiki second degree, but you've been playing with the symbols, it would be very fascinating to me to see if when you do get that initiation done, and you are a second degree Reiki practitioner, if it has an impact, particularly in the way you use those symbols. So I say go for it, go play. I think many symbols work even beyond the Reiki symbols, and that learning Reiki is a really good way of figuring out how to attune yourself so that you can channel those positive creative forces of the universe and apply symbolism that works best for you, in addition to Reiki symbolism, which hopefully you learned when you studied Reiki, particularly getting ready for that series of initiations that brings you to the second degree level. Either way, have fun with your energy work And on behalf of myself and all the crew here at Magus Books and Herbs in Minneapolis and online at magusbooks.com, thank you so much for being your magical selves and helping us make the world a better place every day in every way. Because collectively, we got to be hitting all the spots. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and blessed be.